Now, I made it very clear in an old review of mine called Dragon Ball Super Broly Review, make sure to check that out, that I thought that was the best Dragon Ball movie. I still stand by that. But it was also very much inevitable that I was going to review another Dragon Ball film, especially with as big of a fan as I am. So let's go in depth with Akira Toriyama's Resurrection F. Weirdly enough, this is the first Dragon Ball movie to ever be written by Akira Toriyama. Over 20-something films, and this is the first one that he's ever personally written a script for. But unfortunately, I will say the writing in this movie definitely reflects that element of that. A lot of the character moments are good, and then a lot of the writing regarding the plot and other characters surrounding the main characters is extremely messy. And we're going to get into that. But before we do that, make sure you guys subscribe down below and hit the bell icon for it will notify you whenever I have a new upload that is released. So the plot is that Frieza is resurrected by the Dragon Balls, and therefore he wants to exact revenge on Goku. And yeah, that's the plot. Goku and Frieza fight each other, and there's lots of fighting. So it's very straightforward. Maybe a little bit too straightforward, but that's just a nitpick. Anyways, this is where I'm gonna get into my biggest issue of the movie. When Frieza is resurrected, he states that he can get even stronger than Goku. Personally, he sets his own personal journey for himself to become stronger than the Saiyan. And so, therefore, he accepts a call to action. Now, what happens when a character accepts a call to action? That thing, the movie, should be centered around them and their journey to growing to the height that they want to accomplish. In the first act, Frieza is the main character. Then it jumps to the second act, and Goku and Vegeta are the main characters. And it goes back to the third act, and it's a little bit centered around Frieza. You can't go from the first act all the way to the third act. It doesn't work that way. When a character accepts a call to action like that, they become the main character. But this movie doesn't want to do that, and honestly, I feel that's a bit off. Avengers Infinity War was centered around Thanos and his personal journey to accomplishing his goal, to getting the stones. This movie is Frieza's journey to get strong enough to take on Goku, but it doesn't center around him the moment he takes the call to action, and that's very off in the script writing. Also, there's a lot of pointless character scenes in this movie. A lot of character scenes that aren't really necessary, and they serve no purpose to getting this movie or the story going. And they're just to reintroduce us to the same characters we've seen a billion times in the series, and they're just pointless scenes. And obviously, when you're going into a Dragon Ball film, the one thing that you can praise is the animation. Now, this animation has obviously been overly topped with Dragon Ball Super Broly, but the animation in this movie is still exceptional. Except the CGI. The CGI that they implement here and there during Goku and Frieza's fight is horrific at times. It looks terrible. The CGI just does not work. You can tell that they're trying to layer 2D animation over 3D, but it looks horrible. It really does. And I wish they would stick with 2D the entire time. And of course, another positive would be the Z Warriors versus Frieza's army. It's cool seeing the Z Warriors getting in some action, fighting off some of Frieza's forces until Goku and Vegeta get there. It's cool seeing them in action. I love seeing it. Except this goes around to another problem of mine, which is Gohan. What they did with Gohan in this movie, to the point where he's just some guy in a tracksuit who struggles to go Super Saiyan, hasn't kept up with his training, and has become such a weak character. And with a character as emotionally driven as Gohan, for him to not get the type of respect that he deserves in this series is really, really unfortunate. Now, of course, there are two main fights in this movie, Goku versus Frieza and Vegeta versus Frieza. Goku versus Frieza was definitely a fun battle, except it did feel extremely bland and held back by itself. With as many cliffs and mountains that they fly into, and the amount of times they fly into the water, or fall into stuff, and break stuff, it just feels like it's being held back, and their movements feel extremely restricted. And maybe this is just a problem with the storyboarding or stuff like that behind the scenes, but the battle scenes in this movie definitely are not as good as its predecessor, Battle of Gods. We don't get moments that are as emotionally or action driven, say as, for example, Vegeta versus Beerus' fight, when Bulma gets slapped and then Vegeta gets several good hits in on Beerus. That was a moment that we were like, yes! We don't really get a lot of moments that are like, yes! And with this Goku versus Frieza fight, this is going to round about to another issue of mine, and this is going to be an extremely controversial standpoint on this. I really do not like Super Saiyan Blue. I really don't. It's just another hair color change, and it's nothing really great about it. Now, what made the Super Saiyan transformation back in Dragon Ball Z great was that there was an emotional, spiritual, and physical change within the character. There were so many changes going on with them that made that moment more worth it. Here is just a change of appearance. And I'm not saying that it doesn't look cool. Super Saiyan Blue does look cool. But the thing is, there's nothing there that emotionally grabs you with the story. It doesn't work within the story. It's just giving Goku a new form to fight Frieza with that looks awesome. Now, here comes my biggest positive of the movie. Vegeta versus Frieza. This fight was so worth it, knowing these two characters' history. And knowing the emotional weight behind Vegeta's punches on Frieza. Knowing what he went through in the past with him. Knowing all those things made this so much more worth it. And it would have been an extremely satisfying ending seeing Vegeta be the one to beat Frieza. And it would make sense, like I said, regarding their history. But unfortunately, they decided to take it the safe route and have Goku win. And that was a disappointment. He jumped in out of nowhere and killed Frieza, and then stole the victory from Vegeta. And that, I felt like, was so unnecessary. It was so lazy, and that's really this movie in a nutshell. This really has to be the weirdest Dragon Ball film I've ever seen. And that's one thing I can say about this movie, is the fact that it's lost. It doesn't have a sense of identity. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It wants to be a Frieza movie. It wants to be a Goku and Vegeta movie. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Now, it is fun. I'm not saying it's not fun. It's definitely fun. But if you're talking about in terms of a story standpoint, this is definitely another weak one, which is another problem that I have with all the Dragon Ball films entirely, as an entirety. Except Dragon Ball Super World. They're all style, but no substance. And that's a disappointment. But this movie, I will say, is a decent film. And it's definitely still worth a watch. Much better than a lot of the original ones. And yeah, that's my review of Resurrection F, you guys. I want to do more anime reviews. So, I'm going to leave you guys an option. You guys can vote in the poll in the corner up above and tell me which anime reviews you guys want me to do next. Let me know. Go for it. Or if it's nothing on there on the list that you guys want to pick, make sure to comment it down below in the comment section. And as always, if you guys liked the video, make sure to subscribe today to join the Isaiahization.